thought about this game and I've thought about what I would say, about what I would do here, and I went back and forth. On one hand, I am happy with this, what the Bears showed. They were supposed to get blown out, blah, 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 all that crap. But they sat there and they showed a lot of promise, and you see the future is bright if certain things change. The problem is those certain things need to have been changed today, and they're not going to be. First of all, you need to fire Matt Eberflus. Okay, let me tell you why. It has nothing just to do with the fact that he sucks and he lost us this game. And he did. I'm going to explain why. It's the fact we already know what he can do and what he can't do. We already know his horrible limitations. You know? Now understand, I'm not sitting here saying Thomas Brown should be hired and anointed, but what I saw was someone that I'm willing and very intrigued to see what he can do. We knew this man was a head coaching candidate thought of in the next few years. Like, he was thought of as a head coaching candidate in the next few years. To someone that I was applauding as a hire, because my whole thought was Waldron might be able to get, some opportunities down the line if he did very well here. And with the talent we had, I thought this was a possibility. They fooled me, right? Waldron just is not good at all. Not in any sense. What really baffles me, though, you saw that game Sunday. Thomas Brown is 10 times the play caller than Waldron by eons. And this is when it wasn't just against a scrub like Carolina. This was against a legit playoff contender with a defense that has kept Green Bay in games, and you ripped them apart. You moved up and down, did what you needed to do, played ball possession, scored when needed to be. There were some things to iron out, of course. Were there some missed opportunities? Yes, Caleb missed a touchdown to DJ. There are things that need to be worked on. But we're talking about a rookie quarterback here, and the way he played was phenomenal. He still played almost damn near flawless. If the one thing I can say is he missed some throws, fine. But to be honest with you, there's no excuse to not have won this game, regardless. Yet, we go down the stretch, and this is why Eberflus needs to be fired. You have 30 plus seconds left. You have DeAndre Swift. You got guys like Roshan. You guys like Komet, DJ Moore, and Keenan Allen. You have guys that can work the middle of the field and get at least 10 yards if need be. But you really have, to me, one play. I would call a a nice little mesh screen with DeAndre Swift and let him pick his way and see what he can do. Before anyone says, well, we don't know if that would have worked or whatever, because I know that Eberflus was like, oh, we don't know, we don't want to risk a fumble. Let me tell you the other scenario and possibility of if Eberflus didn't think like a complete little pussy. This is basically with like 20 seconds or less left in a timeout. You call a run and J.K. Dobbins like houses it. Now, I'm not saying that's what would have happened with Swift. The problem is Swift already housed it for 39 yards on a run play. Toss out crack block on the fucking on the left side. Phenomenal play. By the way, it also accentuates what the offensive line does well, and that's getting out in space and making plays happen. They're very athletic. They just lack a lot of technique in the pass game. I'm starting to think a lot of this is more coaching on the offensive line than anything. Yes, you need to replace a lot of things, but Jesus fucking Lord, now I'm starting to see a lot more alarming stuff just from Chris Morgan, even though I've been alarmed by Chris Morgan for 2-3 years and think he should have been fired 2 years ago. But anyhow, you have that. And your answer to why you wasted 30 seconds with a timeout is you were scared to fumble the ball. Your players got you down here. Caleb Williams with one of the most inspiring to me as a quarterback. I've not seen a quarterback do shit like this since Cutler. Okay? And Cutler was Cutler. I haven't seen a quarterback do shit like this, and he's a rookie. Caleb Williams is your guy. I think any questions need to be put to rest. You see what happens when that kid gets competent coaching and a competent play caller he can trust and marry around. Thomas Brown should have been our coordinator. I think that would have been the hire that I would have been acceptable with. I think we've now seen that. Because it wasn't just against an opponent that was shitty and whatever. No, this was against a playoff contender. Against the Packers. The team that has shut this offense down multiple years. And you roasted them. Ripped through them. And yet, your head coach does not believe in DeAndre Swift or DJ Moore on a screen, anything. I would have did DeAndre Swift, to be honest with you. There's no other play I would have called. Mesh screen, DeAndre in the middle of the field, easy, up and out. Because at the worst, what happens? You may get stuffed for 3 yards. I don't think that's going to happen. I think DeAndre's probably going to fucking sit there and make some damage. That's it. You are scared he's going to fumble? DeAndre Swift. You don't even trust your own players we paid a lot of money for to do these things. That is pathetic. They shouldn't be. That's why these players don't believe in you. These players went and fought for Thomas Brown. They fought to have him as the coordinator. Now they need to fight and have him as the head coach because it's clear. They play for Eric Washington. They play for Thomas Brown. You can't play for Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus is a coward. He doesn't even believe in you. And I'm not trying to frame it that way as if it's he negatively doesn't think well of them. No, it's cowardice. A real coach takes every second he can to make sure everything's covered. There are 6 seconds left for Washington. Do you know what they did? We gave them the easiest little out play to go out of bounds, and they took it. We had 30 plus seconds left. Yards to still be gained. You settle for a 40-something yard field goal when you could have gotten a lot better of a shot. Now, granted, you say they blocked the kick. There are levels to this. First of all, they blocked the kick because the trajectory is low, meaning you are kicking a longer kick. That's what Santos does to kick longer kicks. By the way, this is also on polls for the lack of offensive line help and having a bunch of fucking scrubs back there because he didn't fucking go out and kick people. So it's still a big indictment on polls. Don't think I forgot. But anyways, you go and get like a 20, 15-yard field goal, which is very possible with 30 seconds and DeAndre Swift and Caleb Williams left. You instead, with 30 plus seconds in a timeout, what did you do? You sat on it. I have never seen a bigger coward as a coach in my life. And the answer to that question of why didn't you just take advantage of that is you were afraid they would fumble. Your players should be disgusted. I'm disgusted as a fan. I took this as a positive. We should have blown out. This is a happy loss to have. No, it's another indictment on the fact that why isn't he fired yet? It's another indictment, another game that we lost because of cowardice coaching by Matt Eberflus. The lacking the aggression, lacking the coaching to win. Say what you want about Dan Campbell and the way he gambles on certain games, and I do have my issues with that, but he coaches to win. Say what you want. Jim Harbaugh, I have my reservations on. I didn't need Jim Harbaugh specifically, but even then, you look at that. Coach to win. He ran the ball with 20 seconds left in the timeout. He wasn't worried about if J.K. Dobbins was going to fumble, now did he? We have a coward coach. He needs to go. Thomas Brown needs to be evaluated now. And I say this because I truly believe Thomas Brown, this team will rally for. They showed it. They're going to rally for him all for the rest of the year. They're not rallying for Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus is losing you games here. I have nothing to say. That was, again, another example of cowardice coaching that lost us another game. It's the story of being a Bears fan, watching coaches cowardly worm their way to L's. Matt Nagy didn't trust Mitchell Trubisky to fucking, after he got you the lead, you didn't trust him to go win the game. You called conservative play calling. Nick Foles comes down. Bam. Even then, you still could have called different stuff to fucking get maybe better positioning for Cody Parkey. You didn't. We lose. Also, the ball was tipped, crazy enough. Still probably wouldn't have went. It still probably would have curved out because he's an idiot. That fucking tries to curve kicks in for some goddamn reason. But even still, you could have got a better field goal shot with better play calling. Now, same thing. So I say this. You need to fire him. And you need to start evaluating Thomas Brown right now. But the situational awareness of Matt Eberflus is some of the worst I've ever seen in the history of this fucking league. And I'm not going to lie to you, that game, it's just maddening. The announcers themselves are going, what are they doing? Tom Brady's sitting there going, why aren't you going for it? First of all, Brady would have punched Eberflus in the face. He would have been like, I know he would have went over there and he would have said, I swear to God, if you don't let me take my shots here, I'm going to kill you. How you don't sit there and call a screen to Swift and you don't let Caleb Williams do something with that ball and let him work it to his playmakers. It's just cowardice on a disgraceful level, and I have nothing to say. His man is a coward, and I want him gone from the organization very badly right now. I'm only watching this because I'm intrigued to see what Thomas Brown does with the offense, and it's helping Caleb. The goal is to save Caleb Williams' ass right now and to develop that kid. And I'm going to tell you right now, the Bears drafted that one thing they done right, getting that kid. Because, wow, you see it. That's not using your legs and not knowing what. No, that's knowing what you're doing and being decisive and going with balls. It's a shame that my quarterback as a rookie has more balls than a freaking multi-year veteran head coach right now. That's pathetic. What a disgrace.